You were talking about Jon Gruden, and what is your impression of his handling of the Antonio Brown thing?
Jon, I don't think came out looking good in this situation. I understand why he wanted to trade for him, but I mean, if Mike Tomlin and the Steelers, a pretty buttoned up organization can't make it work, you got to know that it's only going to get worse at the Raiders. I think Jon thinks he can connect with anybody, but if you look at the course of his career, that's not true. Be it a punter who gets under his skin last year, or Keyshawn back in the Tampa Bay days. I mean, it's just not true that he finds a way to work with all his players. So, but I think he believes that of himself. So they invited, the craziness in willingly, and then it got crazy, and he didn't like it. I thought he came off in Hard Knocks looking like he was really trying to do backflips to placate Brown. I thought I was out there the day after the supposed incident between Brown and Mike Mayock, when he threatened to punch him in the face, and Jon stood there and said, deep down, Antonio's a great guy. So, and then this whole video thing is
right.
So bizarre, especially with the news yesterday that supposedly Jon saw it and approved it. When he comes off looking like not very good.
Totally desperate, a total desperation. And do you think that that's a function of just trying to win games and avoid the disaster? I mean, is that what he's thinking there?
Yeah, I mean, they wanted.
I guess that's obvious, I suppose.
They wanted it to work. I mean, Antonio Brown is a spectacular talent. I mean, he's a generational kind of receiver. I love watching him play. Until the last year, and I'm on the other side of the country. I've got my own dysfunctional football teams to deal with. But I didn't really realize how bad he was in Pittsburgh because they kept it pretty in-house. I think they kept it pretty buttoned up. And then it started to come out kind of just how crazy he not only was right then, but that he'd been. And so, there are very few teams that can absorb a personality like that. And the Raiders are certainly not one of them. The Raiders do not have a strong, tight organization where everyone is on the same page. They haven't. They had it a tiny bit in Gruden 1.0, but then Al was looming over all of that. So I've covered this team ever since they came back in '95, and they've never had that kind of an organization. So you could kind of see a disaster waiting in the wings.